Hi, my name is Henk Roos. I'm a senior fund analyst at PSG Multi-Management, responsible for offshore funds. The focus of this update is on the new feeder funds launched by PSG Wealth, which provides a rand-denominated asset swap-based access point into our global fund of funds range for our South African investors. The presentation will provide an update on changes within the expanded PSG Wealth Global Fund range, as well as a brief explanation of the role of each of our global funds. I will also provide a brief comparison between asset swap and direct investing as it relates to our global feeders and fund of funds. The PSG Wealth Solutions Global Fund range consists of 4 fund of funds, which covers various risk solutions for our clients, starting with the Global Preserver, which is a cautious global multi-asset portfolio with a maximum equity allocation of 35%. Next, we have the PSG Wealth Global Moderate Fund of Fund, which is a global balance fund with a maximum equity allocation of 65%, followed by the PSG Wealth Global Flexible Fund of Fund, which is an unconstrained global multi-asset portfolio with equities anywhere between 0 and 100%. Finally, we have the PSG Wealth Global Creator Fund of Fund, which is our global equity offering. All 4 of our global fund of funds are available in US dollar, and the Global Preserver and Global Flexible is also available in pound sterling. Over the last 6 months, we have created a number of new access points into our global fund range. On 1 November 2017, we launched the PSG Wealth Global Preserver Feeder Fund, which feeds 100% into the PSG Wealth Global Preserver Fund of Fund US dollar. And then earlier this month, we launched the PSG Wealth Global Flexible Feeder Fund, which feeds 100% into the PSG Wealth Global Flexible Fund of Fund US dollars. Thus, all our dollar-denominated global fund of funds now have rand feeder funds. Our feeder funds are available through all major platforms. A general concern with feeder funds is that it adds an additional layer of fees. However, in the case of PSG Wealth Global Fund of Funds, the fund of fund management fee as well as offshore administration fees are rebated back to the feeder fund, and this rebate is passed through to investors. Thus, there is no additional layer of fees, also known as double dipping. PSG Wealth only charges one fund of fund management fee on these portfolios. As noted previously, from this month, all our global fund of funds now have rand feeders, which feed 100% into the relevant fund of fund. Some key advantages of the global fund of fund range. First off would be access to a greater universe of offshore managers. Locally, there's only about 1,450 funds, of which the large majority is domestically focused funds. Globally, there are more than 250,000 funds available. Within the PSG Wealth Global Fund range, we look not only at SA-based offshore managers, but also at the full universe of global managers. Manager selection and portfolio construction is another big advantage. We follow a disciplined, unique process of split funding, which is implemented by a team of experienced analysts with a proven track record. Size and fees are also important. The size of the multi-manager assets allows us the ability to negotiate those institutional fees with global managers, and given also that PSG Multi-Management is one of the largest multi-managers in South Africa, we also have the advantage of having access to global fund managers which don't generally deal directly with retail clients. When considering asset swap, or in our case feeder funds versus direct offshore, it is important to know there are some key differences. Investors can invest into our global range either directly in offshore currency or through an asset swap transaction. In an asset swap transaction or investment in rand feeder funds, you do not use your own offshore allowance, and you do not directly own the offshore assets. You own the returns relevant to those assets. All transactions are done in rands, and a key difference remains within the tax space, specifically with regards to capital gains tax. Within an asset swap, you pay capital gains both on the growth in the assets and then also on the changes within the currencies, specifically the movement of the rand against the dollar. So if the rand depreciates, you would then pay capital gains on the growth experienced through the currency. In the case of a direct offshore investment, actual foreign currency is invested. In other words, you invest in US dollar or pound sterling. The investor uses their own offshore allowance, which is currently limited to 11 million per calendar year. All transactions is in offshore currency, and the capital gains in this case is generally only payable on the growth of the asset the offshore assets in the offshore currency. In other words, the growth of the dollar investment. You do not pay capital gains on the movement in the rand in this case. That's all for today. Please see the new offshore brochure, which explains our fund of funds in more detail. The Investing Offshore brochure also describes which type of investor each fund of fund and feeder fund are suited for. For more information, please contact your financial advisor.